This podcast contains explicit content.
Dissecting the news, one tangent at a time. This is Hardly Focused.
Dick my butt.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardly Focused with Jack Gill and Mike Tarara. Tonight, it is just the two of us.
You and I.
And right off the bat, we started talking about this before I hit the record button, and we decided that this is better suited for with the mics on. Mike, I don't want to say I swear, but I'm quite convinced I've never seen you with a goatee before.
No, you clearly have. There have been years that I've gone without shaving. Okay, and you've seen this.
Okay, I mean, when I very first met you, you had a stash.
I had the stash.
You've had variations of the stash.
I've had a little bit of soul patch. I've had some chin only throughout the years, and as Joe Dirt, to quote, my hair grows in all white trash like. So I do literally get a goatee, and I get the sideburns, and I don't connect. It is, as you can see, I've had the same amount of growth.
Oh yeah.
I did one thing about 4 or 5 days in on the sides, but that's it. And so everything else is the same.
I must ask you a question.
As you can see, I am not a Grizzly Adams.
I suffer from the same. I am pretty much incapable of growing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the difference is at least, mine looks like a proper goatee. Yours looks like a 13-year-old glued pubes on his face. So.
Oh, come on, dude.
I'm sorry. 14-year-olds.
I've got the curliest pubes in the world. You would know.
You perm them.
It's like squiggle vision. Within like the last couple of years for me, it was I think it's because now I'm looking at my camera and I'm mirrored, but I think it's the left side, my left side. Yeah, this side that I'm pointing at. Only recently connected. For the longest time, I
one day I'm going to be a big boy. For
the longest time, I was only able to do 75% of a goatee, and even then, like on my chin proper, it doesn't really grow in all that much.
On your goatee?
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's No Shave November, and I kind of was like 3 days into November, and I was like, you know what? I'm lazy. Let's just go with it.
Yeah, you're right. It is No Shave November. It's also Movember.
Mo, mo, mo. How do you like me? How do you like me? Mo, mo, mo. Why don't you like me? Nobody likes me.
For the longest time, I had the, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of like the Scott Ian. You know what he does, where he literally only has like the bottom part of the goatee, and now obviously he's grown it down to his balls, but because for a while that's the only thing that I could grow that looked like it was full. And it's been several years since I've done that. Now I've either just it's a difference between clean shaven, which I'll never do again. I did it by accident a few months ago because I fucked up while I was shaving. And it was right before a wedding too. I was pissed because I was getting ready for a wedding and I'm shaving and I screwed up the goatee and I'm like, well, I gotta get rid of the whole thing.
It's only like a 16th of an inch you can screw it up because with you it's so thin. It's just like, oh, there we go.
It's a blessing and a curse to look so young, but when I don't have the facial hair, the people.
No, see what you need to do, you should have done is if you screwed up the sides, shave the rest of it off except for the mustache and do the Vincent Price.
Oh, I should have.
The pencil.
I should have.
You
know what I wish I could do is the curly mustache. Curls on both ends. I've seen you do it.
You can't do the curly?
I know.
It takes a while, and you've got to trim the front a lot because the front will walrus you up. if you don't get it. And then you can start curling. It takes a while to curl, though.
The only two people I know that have been able to pull off the curly mustache are you, and there was this old guy that shopped.
Raleigh Fingers from the Oakland days.
There's a guy at this supermarket I used to work at that had a very curly mustache, and he was very proud of it.
You used to live old-fashioned dumbbells. Perseveres.
Bully, eh? Bully. What a time to be alive. I've seen you with the curly mustache. I've seen you just with the sash period. I've seen you with the Hitler stash.
Yes, you have.
As a joke, but you have done it.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, I can wear a mean a paintbrush mustache. Yeah, the old Mel Brooks end of the comb mustache right there. It works. I got it.
I understand you were telling.
If I ever wanted to subjugate an entire continent, I could look the part.
I understand you were telling people that you were Charlie Chaplin and you just didn't have your hat.
Yep.
But
and for some reason, it had an armband too. I don't know why.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I guess it's just been a long time since I've seen you with the goatee.
It has been a while because the kids don't like the scratchiness. So I'm like, whatever, I'll shave.
Okay. See, my father, I think I've seen pictures of him when he had the 70s stash.
Like the 70s porn stash?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And he had it he definitely had it for the first few years of my life, because then I've seen photos of me when I was a baby, and there he is with the mustache. And
the 90s porn stash, okay.
And I distinctly remember thinking it was like the greatest feeling in the world if he was holding me and I'd like grab his face and there was like the 5 o'clock shadows, like the stubble, and just thinking it was great. And then ever since then, it's like the man shaves at least twice a day. And I think he's just
like, oh, you like this? Not anymore.
And my parents didn't appreciate it when I liked things, so they would immediately take them away.
Here you go.
But
proper parenting right there.
There was one back when I was a teenager. There was a period of time where my father he had a friend, a coworker who
don't they all have friends?
My dad had a friend. He had a friend who had a home gym, so he would go to the gym pretty regularly, and he actually got like considerably ripped. And he's always been like, I mean, you see my father. He's a beanstalk. I mean, the man runs quite frequently. He's very athletic, very very healthy for his age. Just turned 70 last month, and I make fun of him for it regularly. And there was a period of time when he got chiseled like that he decided to grow a goatee. And it was like, what the hell, man? You look like 10 years younger. Do this. And then he just decided, I don't like this. It takes away from my church-going persona.
Whatever.
Man, Jesus
had a full beard.
A full beard and long hair. The man was a hippie.
He was. Wore sandals, the original Birkenstocks.
Jesus Christ was a hippie. And conservative old people, hey, cut your hair. Cut your damn hair. Like, no, man, Jesus Christ did it.
He also built my hot rod, too.
Yeah. So there you go. Mike, do you understand the reference to my shirt? This is really only going to play well over the video.
Vaguely, it's like a vague recollection, but I'm not catching it right now. It's not pinging up in my knowledge.
Okay. I will play it for you. You will get the reference. Here we.
It's a free society. Except there ain't nothing free, because there's no guarantees, you know? You're on your own. There's a lot of jungle.
That's from RoboCop. RoboCop, they do like the fake news segments.
Yep.
And which I think Kathy Lee Gifford was one of the anchors. And then there's just like, I forget what the context of it was. And that whole scene, that character, film urban legend, it's incorrectly attributed, is misattributed to Alex Van Halen. It is not Alex Van Halen, nor Eddie Van Halen for that matter.
I mean, not for nothing. You could forgive them for thinking that.
It kind of looks like him, but it's not.
It's clearly not. But when you're like, is that? No, it can't be.
Yeah.
It must. No, and then they did some movie stuff to him, right? Yeah. No, it's not a cameo.
Yeah, and I believe the actor, I don't know the name of the actor who played him, but I'm pretty sure that was like his only on-screen role.
Ever.
Yeah. There's
because he's not SAG. They literally picked him off the street.
It really is a man named Keva Rosenberg, and he is very much unemployed, and has been since 1987. There's a nuclear war film from the UK that will just proper fuck you up. It is like, it should be on the top 10 list of horror movies, not your slasher films, not your Saws and your Friday the 13th. No, this film called Threads. It will fuck you up and then some. And there's this poor woman. This is shown up on lists of like the actors, the actresses who only have like one or two roles to their names, and they're like the most unfortunate roles too, because they were pretty much extras. And there's this old woman who the credit is listed as, she's not given a name. She's instead woman who urinates on herself.
Womp womp.
As the nuclear war begins, and they show her like they show a shot of her like looking aghast, and then they show a shot of her foot very clearly, just like had like a hose taped to her leg and just liquid protruding from it. And her credit is woman who urinates herself.
Well, hey, at least she's credited, right?
Yeah. Didn't even get a speaking. I mean, I think typically you have to have like a speaking part to get credited. If you don't speak, then they don't have to credit you.
Did she scream?
No, not even.
I don't know.
Didn't vocalize, just pissed.
Maybe they were like, you know what? We'll give it to her.
Well, speaking of the piss, we're going to talk about that coming up in How Fucking Dumb Are You? Man, so how fucking dumb are you? We've got piss, we've got shit, we've got jacking off.
It's a trifecta.
I think this is going to be a good segment. All right, we will jump right into that. Stick around.
It's been a couple weeks. Can I start making cracks about this?
Hardlyfocus.com.
This podcast contains explicit content.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.
Let's begin the show by starting it.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Hardly Focused. It is the 17th of November. This is the 520th episode with Jack, Gill, and Mike Tarara. When we were warming up to record this episode, we were talking about facial hair, and we were able to have quite the conversation about facial hair. Because Mike, I was largely convinced. I'd never seen Mike with a goatee before, and I apparently have. But during our break, before we started the show in full, our dear friend Kevin from a podcast called Alcohol by Volume posted a link to a very, very, very good interview conducted by Craig Ferguson on The Late Late Show in 2011 with Wilford Brimley. You want to talk about the mustache?
The facial hair.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the mustache, Wilford Brimley, known for three things: diabetes,
testing, medication,
diabetes. Looking like he was 100 years old in 1985 when he was actually like 30, and the mustache. So here is Craig Ferguson and Mr. Brimley on Craig Ferguson's show talking about his facial hair.
I was looking at your resume today, and when you did Cocoon, you were the same age as I am now.
Okay.
And I couldn't grow a mustache like that, man.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
And Wilford Brimley just didn't want to be there too. I mean, like, I think they flew him out from Wyoming just to be on the show, and he just like didn't give a fuck. And it was great because at that age, and when you're Wilford Brimley, not giving a shit is just entertaining.
It's part of his persona at that point.
Mm-hmm. And let this be a reminder that both Tom Cruise and now Paul Rudd, sexiest man alive for 2021, Paul Rudd, around the same age now.
I just Googled the photo.
As Wilford Brimley was in 1985 when he filmed Cocoon.
Well, the difference is Paul Rudd literally sold his soul to the devil for anti-aging serum. That guy he could literally, they could remake Clueless and he could still play the same role.
Yeah.
They'd have to recast everybody else.
He's aging backwards.
He's Benjamin Buttoning.
Yeah, Paul Rudd's Sexiest Man Alive, which I feel like he had to have won that at least once before.
Apparently not.
Really?
No, they're making a big deal of it, so I don't think he has.
Yeah, I mean, once you're cast in a Marvel film, like you're a superstar. You're like top tier as an actor, and as long as you can retain the role, you don't pull a Terrence Howard or an Edward Norton. Yeah. But although we're now getting to the point where we have so many of these damn films that the actors are just bouncing between the franchises now. They bounce between DC and
because now it's no longer like verboten. Like, oh, I can actually do this. It's not going to be like this huge fan uproar of, oh my god, I can't believe he.
Yeah. You just had Sylvester Stallone in the Suicide Squad as King Shark, and now he's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Well, he was in 2 as well, so.
Yeah. And then you have, what's his face there? J.K. Simmons. He was in, I believe he was in Justice League. He was Commissioner Gordon, and then he's reprising his role as J. Jonah Jameson. And
you've got Idris Elba on both sides, right?
Yep. Heimdall and not Deadshot. Is it Bloodsport?
Maybe. I can't remember.
I wish I should remember, because Suicide Squad, if you haven't seen the Suicide Squad, it's a fantastic, fantastic film. Polka Dot Man, I think, is like one of my favorite characters. I immediately purchased the. I think I had to pre-order it, the Funko Pop, for Polka Dot Man. So, anyway, our flagship segment here on Hardly Focused. How fucking dumb are you?
Hardly Focused
presents.
Do you finger your own asshole just to smell your own shit? Like, I don't get it. How fucking dumb are you?
All right, Mike, we got 3 stories here. One involves piss, one involves shit, one involves jacking off. Which one would you like to start with?
Literally lay him down in that order.
Okay, we'll start with piss. The Welcome to Rockville festival happened a couple of weeks ago. Let me just start off by saying, fucking Christ on a pogo stick, it is so good to be able to go to shows again.
Tell me how you really feel.
I mean, I'd been to a few shows over the summer. My first like show in proper since the COVID restrictions eased was Bright Eyes, and that was an outdoor show. My first indoor show was Lindsey Buckingham, and that was like you had to show your Vax card. You had to wear a mask the whole time. Anyone that like even looked like they were getting ready to remove their mask, security would walk over and shine a light on them. Now, granted, it was probably also because everyone there was old. Lindsey Buckingham's like 100 years old at this point, regardless. And then a couple weekends ago, I went to see Stone Temple Pilots, which was a fantastic show for STP for having their third frontman now. Hopefully he doesn't die.
Fingers crossed, their time's a charm.
Yeah, but very good show. I was surprised because it wasn't. This was at the Palladium in Worcester, and it wasn't that packed. Like, it didn't sell out. And then following night, Fro and I went and saw Bad Religion with Alkaline Trio, and that was sold out, absolutely packed. And what's great about the Palladium is that they say online you have to bring your Vax card, you have to mask up the whole time. Both nights, no one checked my Vax card. And the second you get inside, it's the wild, wild west. They don't give a shit. Even the staff isn't masked up. They had detail cops there. No one was. None of them were masked up. And then, of course, I got sick that week. I was out of commission all last week, so pretty sure it picked up. I don't want to get into the mindset now where anytime I catch a cold that I think it's COVID. It felt like a cold. I didn't like have any COVID symptoms, but like, of course, the one time I let my guard down and I take my mask off in the company of humans. Felt just like old times.
And then you're just going to get the classic flu then.
Yeah. So that reminds me, I need to get my flu shot. And probably my COVID boost, booster, the boosty boost.
And you can mix and match with the booster, right?
You can, yeah. It's going to be a lot easier to get the booster now. I don't have to book an appointment weeks in advance and then go to the empty Sears at the Natick Mall. So I can avoid that awkwardness. Okay, so from consequence.net, Brass Against singer apologizes for peeing on fans' faces. NASCAR permanently bans banned from its venues.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Was this band ever at NASCAR venues before?
No. And they'll never be allowed back.
It's like saying, hey, Cletus, I am banning you from space. Wow. What a line in the sand.
The Welcome to Rockville Festival was held at it was held in Daytona Beach. And they probably will have future Welcome to Rockville festivals at Daytona International Speedway. So or they have any other festivals there. It's just preventing Brass Against from being able to perform there ever again. But, and this also being a band that I guess this is publicity for them. I had never heard of this band until.
I don't think many people have heard of this band.
Yeah. I looked up the frontwoman and she's married to a Peloton instructor. So, according to Consequence, as previously reported during Brass Against Welcome to Rockville last week, front woman Sophia Urista singled out a male fan in the crowd with a beer can on his head. She called him up on stage while the band was covering Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. She then told him to lie down on the stage, at which point she pulled down her pants and urinated on his face. The man, seemingly thrilled by the act, then proceeded to stand up and spit the liquid into the audience. In a very, very early incarnation of this podcast, well before you joined, Mike, this was our opening theme.
Ooh.
Also heard at the end of The Matrix.
Yes.
Or at least on social media, Urista's antics have been well received by fans. Quote, your band should be thanking you. You'll get the attention your band deserves because the music is fantastic, wrote one on Twitter.
Oh.
You do you. Artistic expression should not have to be apologized for. If anyone has a problem, they need to reassess where they are in life and perhaps find something real to be offended by.
I find it interesting the level of blurrination going on, depending upon the story source. There's like some very conservative ones that have basically blurred out her entire legs as well, and like half a city block. And there's ones like they actually circle, like, this is unedited. Here's what she's doing. She's peeing. Like, all right.
Right. It's still such a weird thing. It sounds like one thing I read says that this was planned in advance, that the individual that was pissed on knew it was going to happen, like was ready for it. But I don't know.
I've heard conflicting stories. And at least the only thing that is consistent is it was consensual.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big thing. Like everybody was like, whoa, you just got on there and she's like, I'm going to piss on your face. He goes, oh, I don't want to. And then she did anyway. No. He's like, yeah.
Not to
piss on me. And she's like, all right, let's do this. Bam.
Not to mention, isn't urine fairly
sterile?
Yeah.
And I like the taste.
Yeah. So it's not like, I don't know.
Not like you're defecating on somebody, pee's gross, but it's basically just uric acid and salt.
Look, it's not that I'm a big fan of R. Kelly, okay? But if I was forced to like have to choose between the two, goddamn, just piss all over me, man. Come on.
Hello. Yes, this is Robert Kelly. Yes, the singer. You want my social security number? Sure. It's 916-34-7865. Okay. God bless.
Well,
Urista posted on her Twitter account. She says, I have always pushed the limits in music and stage. That night, I pushed the limits too far. I love my family, the band, and the fans more than anything, and I know that some were hurt or offended by what I did. I apologize to them and want them to know that I didn't mean to hurt them. I am not a shock artist.
I'll be honest, the only person she needs to be apologizing to is the venue's cleanup crew.
Yeah.
It's the only people that she needs to apologize to.
Even
everybody else, got this.
Look, piss is easy to clean up in comparison to shit and vomit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's still just, liquid, but.
Right. But still.
Smell of piss. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, as long as like you can get it out, as long as you can disinfect it.
It was shag carpeting, man. It's never going to come out.
I do like this one comment from that one Twitter user going back a little bit. Where they said, if anyone has a problem, they need to reassess where they are in life and perhaps find something else real to be offended by. Yeah, it's 2021. That shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah, there's a long list of things to get offended by. Just a little bit.
Now, you know what this whole ordeal reminded me of? This happened back in the 90s. L7. I think this was their one hit, Pretend We're Dead. I'd like to thank Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for introducing me to L7, but the front woman famously or infamously pulled out her tampon while on stage and threw it into the crowd.
Yes.
And that caused quite the uproar.
I think it was 1992.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It sounds like when they were, it's around the time that song came out, and that's when they were at their peak.
I mean, that's very, I mean, both instances, it's very bold. I would not call this, how fucking dumb are you? I mean, maybe the guy that was accepting the pee is how fucking dumb are you, but like, the front woman, absolutely, fucking own it.
Right. I guess depending on who you are, it could be a how fucking dumb are you? Because there are people that are mortified that someone would do this. Those who are mortified.
And those people, how fucking dumb are you? If you find something legit to complain about, two consulting adults, okay?
Yeah, those people, those who are mortified by this don't expel human waste themselves.
No, what they do is they go to church on Sunday after they beat the shit out of their family on Saturday. So, go fuck themselves.
Oh, nobody at the New Yorker has an anus. All right. Okay, so next up, I believe you said you wanted to go in order, so we did piss
yes.
and then shit. Okay.
Getting dirtier and filthier as we go along.
Yeah. All right. This one we got audio here. We can jump right to the audio. Here we go.
I mean, technically we had audio with the last one too. It just, there's more music stuff.
Right. This coming from Fox10Phoenix.com. That's where the audio is from. The incident itself happened in Southern California. So we will take it to Fox 10 Phoenix. Here we go.
This building manager got a call from one of the neighbors saying that there was feces all over the lobby of their 19-unit Brentwood building. So the building manager starts calling around. She thought maybe it could be a tenant with a dog or a baby, and somehow that may be responsible. But unfortunately, it wasn't. Take a look at what the security video found. She says she was just shocked by what she saw. Now, this happened on Friday. So a woman who had just delivered her a salad through DoorDash, you can see her appearing to walk to the lobby's trash can, then use it as a toilet, eventually taking off her top, wrapping it around her waist, then just walking out of the building without even cleaning up the mess that was left behind. The building manager says she was absolutely horrified at these images. Listen here.
What I saw, I could not unsee. I was flabbergasted at what I saw. She let it go. I mean, that saying, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And boy, did she ever. You're 4 steps away from outside where there's a bush or your car, or I don't know, but not in the lobby of a Brentwood apartment building. This is a health issue. You have a human being who's taking a poop in the middle of her job in a lobby of an apartment building and then resuming her job, which is delivering and touching food.
Yeah, which is what apparently she had just done. Now, Lisa reached out to DoorDash, who sent this response, quote, "The trust and safety of our community is extremely important, and what's shown in this video is absolutely unacceptable. We are actively investigating this and will take all appropriate actions, including cooperating with law enforcement on any investigation." Now, Lisa says that they wrote back to her and essentially offered her a refund on her salad and also gave her, on top of that, a $20 credit to DoorDash. But she says this is a much bigger issue. That is not enough. She wants this public health issue addressed first. And she also says she is not going to be using any food delivery services, either DoorDash or any others, in the meantime, anytime soon. Reporting live in Brentwood, I'm Chelsea Edwards. I'll send it back to you guys.
I like it when they like triple wrap, your food when they bring it to you and it's stapled and and now
That's not enough at this point.
I know.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay. We appreciate that, Chelsea. Thank you very much.
Funny guy.
I was flabbergasted.
Oh, I saw you react to that one, Mike.
Yep, she was flabbergasted.
If you didn't happen to watch that, I'm guessing you didn't. If you didn't happen to watch that video, the woman that was speaking, if you need a visual, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Without looking, I could tell.
Yeah, she looks very much like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Also looks like someone who she could be a Karen. She could be, but in this case, justified.
She's got an RKF, resting Karen face.
Yeah. Or as I learned today, there's a thing called, I think, like fish mouth, and it's something that you notice on. It's something that you notice on. The women that you see at things like anti-vax protests, they all seem to have the same. They all seem to have the same face. But anyway, Yes, absolutely. So I can kind of sympathize with this woman and how upset she is, because she is right. If this DoorDasher is handling other people's food, like, look, I carry hand sanitizer in my car, okay? At least use that.
Maybe she is. Maybe she's got a full sink in her car. Just doesn't have a full toilet.
Okay, so the receptacle in question looks like the kind that you would find in a park, like a one that is in a park. And it has a sort of like a silver cover on it. And this woman just exploded all over it.
I mean, when you gotta go, there's no stop. Maybe she couldn't make it to the bush. 4 steps away, she's like, I'm already clenching at max capacity here. I got to find a spot to dump it.
Right.
Was it just in there, or was it also around the lobby as well?
It looks, based on the censoring attempts that they tried to do, it looks like it was largely around the trash receptacle, but it was noted that there was shit elsewhere. So
see that I think that's the bigger problem that people are having. Like, if she was able to just hop right in, do her business, and get out, I think that would have been a little easier. But the fact that you kind of like Wagner power painted everything. Not exactly a good look for you.
Now with DoorDash, I don't think this is something you could do. It'd be not wise to do. Is it like you don't go from like restaurant to restaurant, pick up orders in bulk, and then drop them off one by one. It's pick up the order, drop it off, then pick up the next order, drop it off.
It's like taxi service, pick up, drop off, pick up, drop off.
And you're not like clocked in. You're not on a shift, so like you can just stop whenever you want. So if this woman was having an issue and then shit all over a trash can, then like I would imagine the smart thing to do at that point is go home and hose yourself off. Don't go and then pick up your next order.
I feel like you'd be like, and not only that, like you're sitting in your car. Ugh.
Yeah, it didn't strike me as the best kind of shit one could take where zero wiping is required.
Yeah, that's this. You're not talking about the immaculate shits.
Yeah. So there you go. I will still trust DoorDash, I've not been given a reason to not trust them beyond their extortion. Goddamn, it is expensive. Never cheap to order DoorDash.
It's not worth it, especially when you're doing it off of local, your mom and pops. The only time you should, if you have to DoorDash, you do it off of a national chain. That's not going to end up like screwing over the locals. The locals end up getting screwed. They get like $1 out of it instead of like a $5 amount for just doing a pickup. Don't be lazy. Just go pick it up.
The only service that I use at this point, like I'll use DoorDash if I get a credit towards it. My employer regularly gives out credits as an incentive, which is nice. Otherwise, I use an app called Slice, and it's specifically for pizza delivery, specific to the mom and pop pizza joints. And there's the fees there are minimal. It's not like there's no fees. There are fees, but it's nowhere near what DoorDash and Uber Eats charge. So if you're not using Slice, and I get you endorsement, give it a shot, because I use it, and they do have a nice little perk system in there too. Last time I used Slice, I paid like $15 for a large pizza and I think a side of I think it was either garlic bread or mozzarella sticks. I was actually amazed at how much it was like pretty much, hey, I would spend this if I had just driven there myself. I'm actually amazed that I'm paying this much on a food delivery app. So, okay, finally, from Minnesota, CBS local in Minnesota. It's a free country, says man who threatens TSA agent's life, throws checkpoint stanchion, strips naked, and masturbates. Charges state.
Now, depending upon if there was a comma or no comma, that kind of makes it even a little funnier. Man threatens TSA agent's life, throws checkpoint stanchion, strips naked, and masturbates, and charges state. Like literally sues the state. That's how I read it initially. I'm like, whoa, no, there's a comma in there. Hold on.
Oh, the old Oxford comma.
Yeah.
So according to CBS local here in Minnesota, telling agents he, quote, did not have to stop because it's a free country. 44-year-old Minneapolis man is charged with threatening TSA workers at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. It's charges state that he also swung a stanchion line post before throwing it at agents, taking his clothes off.
Stanchion?
Stanchion.
Stanchion.
Stanford.
Stanchion.
Yeah, I'm having trouble with this word, man.
I know. It's your MO.
God damn it. Didn't we just do a whole segment on this a couple episodes ago? What was that guy's name? Fago? Okay, whatever. Now I'm self-conscious. Stanchion. Charges state that he also swung a stanchion line post before throwing it at agents, taking off his clothes and masturbating. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has filed a complaint against Frank Towers. Investigators say the incident happened at the Skyway checkpoint early last Friday morning. Here we go. Here's the meat. Towers allegedly told one TSA employee that he was going to kill them. Officers gave him commands to stop and move away from the checkpoint, which he did not abide. The charges state that when Towers was tasered, I like that they made taser a proper noun.
It actually is.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Like a brand name, like Kleenex. He used Kleenex to wipe up his semen stains. Got to capitalize Kleenex. It's a proper word.
No shit. Today I learned.
No, that was the last segment. No shit.
He then swung his arms above his head in an attempt to hit an officer. Backup officers handcuffed Towers and took him into custody while he continued to fight with them. Surveillance videos showed Towers punching and headbutting TV screens at the airport, taking his clothes off and masturbating.
I mean, you got to be pretty aggressive to masturbate in the TSA check line.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you've got to have some spank bank material ready to go, because unless you're getting off to some really weird shit.
Right.
I'm not going up to the TSA kind of even sporting a semi. So good for him.
Unless it's like, the adrenaline and the endorphins cause him to be erect. I mean, if he was on something, don't most substances usually impair your ability to get an erection?
Generally so.
Yeah. The last, it's because typically you're either on like PCP or on speed, you're on something that's causing you to do this. But then there was also an incident recently where someone was having a quote mental health crisis where they did something very similar, but they were a war veteran having a PTSD moment. And I don't think I think they might have been able to kind of get off, no pun intended, because of their state.
Pun entirely intended. You know that.
The article concludes Towers has been charged with 4th degree assault against a peace officer, as well as making
4th degree. How many degrees do we have here?
They added a 4th just for him.
Right.
As well as making threats of violence with reckless disregard for risk, both felonies. He also has at least 3 charges in other criminal cases pending, including domestic assault in Olmsted County. If convicted, he could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted of the threats of violence charge stanchion. There you go. I was on the West Coast for a month, so spent quite a bit of time in airports. And I guess I'm lucky. I should count my blessings here because I have not encountered any issues where people were fighting TSA, where the flights were delayed, where someone was losing their shit. I
thought you were going to say you counted yourself lucky not masturbating in the TSA.
No, man, I save that for when I get on the plane.
Okay.
I make sure I just coat those bathrooms, man. Drummer Josh Freese, he is the individual you call if your band needs a drummer. I mean, he plays with everybody. Always takes a photo of an airport or of an airline bathroom and posts it to his Instagram. That's if you're looking at him on Instagram. I think these have been minimal since COVID, but there was a period of time where almost all of his photos were just airplane bathrooms. So
he's got a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I flew even during the pandemic before things opened up, when things were a bit more stricter. And even then, I mean, people were definitely, annoyed that they would rather not have to wear a mask for several hours straight. But at the same time, I mean, no one really vocally grumbled. No one was throwing punches at flight attendants. I've not been witness yet to any of this. So it's baffling when I hear these stories because they happen so frequently now.
It's kind of crazy.
They happen so frequently, and these people, the TSA people, the flight attendants, the airport staff, they don't get paid enough.
I don't defend the TSA. I'll defend the flight attendants, not the TSA.
Just gotta check your asshole. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you guys are a tube. All right, this isn't a bus where you can just throw somebody off. Although some people have tried.
Now, it's weird. So at Boston and Logan Airport, kind of understandable because half of 9/11 originated from our airport.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm saying it's half your fault.
And it's Boston too. By nature, we're just assholes. But
yeah,
the most unpleasant TSA people.
Well, yeah, because you're getting all the guys from East either working the TSA lines. They're like, yeah, I got to go in, got to pay the fucking toll. I got to come over here, park over here. I got to take the blue line. God forbid that fucking runs. And my dunks is goddamn cold, and I'm fucking freezing my ass off, and my fucking Newport fell out. Oh, my God. And the fucking slush. I don't fucking love it. All right? So fuck you. Get in the back of the line.
If you're not local, welcome to Boston.
Welcome to Boston.
And meanwhile, I'm in San Diego. Nicest people. The TSA people. Everyone there is friendly. They're stopping me to ask like what the design on my T-shirt means. They're actually like, while they're being strict and assertive, they're not being complete assholes. They treat people with as much respect as the TSA can provide.
As much.
But They truly do not get paid enough. I mean, none of them get paid enough to have to deal with this shit. I was one of my flights leaving California. The flight attendant that was standing in front of me for, both boarding and deplaning, and that was like her, her section. My word, pretty as a picture. And I'm just thinking to myself, goddamn, I really hope one day you don't have to duct tape someone to their seat.
No, that's next week.
And she was explaining too. There's a old woman that was sitting in front of me that was talking her up the whole time.
Probably because you remind me of my daughter. I love my daughter. I haven't seen my daughter in months. God bless her. You remind me of her.
Flight attendant saying that she lives in Chicago, but she is based out of Atlanta, and we were in Dallas, by the way. And she's based out of the airport there in Atlanta, and like even though she lives in Chicago, she spends several nights a week in Atlanta, and they have like literally it's like an apartment for flight attendants. I can only imagine the sex and drugs that are happening there. I've heard that I've read stories that like flight attendants and pilots. My word, it is just it's if you're going through a dry spell, become a flight attendant.
Takes off right there.
Yeah. There's the, the risk of unruly passengers. There's the risk of, getting spit on, the hijacking and terrorist attacks. But I mean, I could only guess that all of the sex and all of the drugs and the occasional rock and roll makes it all worth the while.
It sounds like rock and or roll.
If we have any flight attendants that listen to this podcast, I would love for them to confirm all of this. Yes, I agree, especially about the terrorist attacks. All right, there you go. We will return and we'll talk about some music-related things. Stick around.
They're highly contagious.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.
I'm wearing a goddamn coat and I'm still fucking freezing. Yeah, I got a goddamn high fever. Get me the fuck out of here.
I'm constantly in the state of wanting to throw up.
This podcast contains explicit content.
You are listening to Hardly Focused.
I could say something pretty inappropriate right now.
We are Hardly Focused. Thank you for checking us out. Gill and Mike Tarara. You can find us at hardlyfocused.com, on your favorite podcast app, on the YouTubes, at hardlyfocused.com/YouTube. Something that I don't understand with YouTube is just how the algorithms and the keywords and all those things work. I do every once in a while front a small advertising budget to help get the name out for Hardly Focused, and very, very proud to have 600 something subscribers. I would say that's an accomplishment for a rinky-dink podcast like ours that does almost no advertising.
Yay.
And then our John Penis Man video, which somehow has over 30,000 views on YouTube.
John Dillerman?
Yes, and continues to grow. We did a segment a couple weeks ago about
Dick my butt.
And organically, that thing is racking up views. I think we're over 2,000 now.
I just can't wait for another 7,000.
Yeah, I just can't.
No, it's over 9,000.
I just can't wait for another Marvelous Loco to come in.
Dick my butt.
So, Taylor Swift. If you cross Taylor Swift at all, if you break up,
you will get a song,
and it continues. It continues to this day. Now I'm not a big Taylor Swift fan, but I will listen to her.
Don't you fucking lie. You are a T-Swifter through and through.
Look, I started with 1989. Because that was around the time that her sound, she went away from like that, country
pop.
Yeah, and it's more like electronica now. It's a little hip hop. It got a little more experimental. Like Lover is a fantastic album. When she dropped Folklore though during COVID, like that was it. That was.
When she dropped Folklore, man, that was the shit.
I will maintain, and it needs to show up on the list of greatest songs ever written. The song off Folklore she did with Justin Vernon from Bon Iver. Like, holy fuck.
Wait, Bon Iver is not a person?
It's like one of those things where people are like, they call him Bon Iver. Like, no, it's not Hootie and a Blowfish. It's not Hootie.
Jethro Tull?
Yeah. No, man. Tommy Two-Tone. Let's talk about Tommy Two-Tone. It's not Tommy Two-Tone. The guy's name is not Tommy Two-Tone. It's Tommy Heath. The band is called Tommy Two-Tone. It's because people, in those cases, it's because of the names that they give the project. If you're going to call your band Hootie and the Blowfish, expect the frontman to be called Hootie. Bon Iver is it's an interesting case because that's it initially started as a solo project and he called the project Bon Iver. Now people look at him and like, how you doing, Mr. Iver? Like, no, man. His name's Justin Vernon. Goatee. That's not his name.
Yep.
It's Gary DeWooder, I believe. Man, he's great. Comes out with that album. Has that one hit wonder as like one of the most memorable songs of the 2010s. And then
I'm out.
Yeah. Because he has a band. He has a band that he performs with. And he went back to that band and he's just like, yeah, I'd rather just do this.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, but Taylor Swift in a very unique situation where she doesn't have ownership to the master copies of her original recordings. And
why is that, Jack?
Because of some piece of shit named Scooter Braun.
Oh, that name has never come up ever before, has it?
I mean, the first issue, first and foremost, Scooter. And the guy's name's Scooter. So she does not have her own master recordings. They are owned by Scooter Braun. So there's a couple of things that come to mind when I hear that, where like she's making a big to-do about not having her master recordings for her own music. There's two things about this. The band Living Colour. Fantastic band. Also, again, thank you, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, for introducing me to Living Colour. They did not have access to the master recording for Cult of Personality. And in 2007, they just recorded the whole song again. Went in the studio and just re-recorded it for, I think it was Guitar Hero 3, because it's on the track list for that game. They were just like, we don't have the master. Fuck it, we'll just re-record the song. And it's almost like a note for note re-recording. Like if you play the two versions back to back, you have no idea which is which. And then in 2008, there was a big fire at Universal Studios in Los Angeles. And it wasn't discovered until years later that the fire destroyed hundreds upon hundreds of master recordings that were like decades old, like, recent, up to from 2008 to, going back to, I think like the 50s or something, like maybe even
That's
farther.
a lot.
Yeah. If you look up bands on Wikipedia, almost all of them will note that they were like, quote, one of the many artists who lost their master recordings in the 2008 Universal fire. So, and then those are bands that would have to go back and, like, if they want to do something with a track and want access to the masters, hey, guess what? You don't have them anymore. They're gone. So, but Taylor Swift, because all of her music is now owned by someone else, said, well, fuck you. I'm just going to re-record all of my albums. Up to, I think, I forget, I'm blanking on which album it is that doesn't fall under this one. The contract ended that she owns. But she's released two of them so far. She did Fearless, and then Red just came out. I think, I forget which record label it is. One of them announced recently that they are now putting a clause in the contracts where if artists want to re-release their music, re-record and re-release their music like this, they have to wait a certain amount of time between releases, because Taylor Swift is planning on like putting out a re-recorded album every few months. So
until she owns all of her masters at this point, she goes, fuck you, I'm going to make my own.
Mm-hmm.
She's got all the way through. She's got Red.
Yep.
Fearless. Speak Now.
Yep. And then there's one more after that.
Taylor Swift, Fearless, Speak Now, Red in 1989.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. Those are the 5 that she is re-releasing or re-recording, I should say.
Cool. Thank you for that. I thought I thought 1989 would be the first that she owned. Okay, so that's. Oh, that would be interesting. 1989, hearing that one all re-recorded.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So
see if she'll do if she's gonna record another remix of Bad Blood with what's his face.
I don't know.
The music video for Bad Blood is great because it's got like at the time it's like every female like musician and actress, and they're all portraying superheroes, and they got like to do like a big like Avengers or Captain America Civil War type clash. They got like I remember Haley Williams was in there, and at one point they got Mariska Hargitay and Ellen Pompeo. Those are Taylor Swift's like heroines, if you will.
Oh yeah, she loves some SVU.
She named her cat. I believe her cats are named Olivia and Meredith.
Benson?
Yeah, Olivia and Meredith.
Oh, Meredith. Okay.
Yeah, Meredith Grey. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy at all. What are you talking about? I haven't seen every episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so she plays what the fuck is it called? Whatever that fucking song is that's all over the place. She just All Too Well. She played it on SNL because it's like the song. It's like the hardcore fans. It's their favorite song. It's written about Jake Gyllenhaal because she dated him for about 15 minutes. They split up, and then he got a song about him.
Well, I think the reason that T Swift fans hate Gyllenhaal, besides the fact that the initial like, hey, you broke T Swift's heart, is the fact that he was like, yeah, the age difference is too much. You're too young. And then literally 10 years later, he's dating somebody that was Taylor Swift's age at the time he was dating Taylor Swift.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So they're like, you fucking hypocritical asshole. Go fuck yourself. So that's really the reason why there's extra animosity. They're like, fuck him. But it is what it is.
People are also pointing out that John Mayer it was a similar situation when he was dating.
John Mayer's a fucking douche.
Yeah.
It's a part of Wonderland.
I fucking hate John Mayer. I can't think of any John Mayer song that's good. I
just know that his quote is, he's got a Benetton heart but a David Duke dick. And I'm like, wow. Well, I'm surprised that didn't get more traction on the you fucking asshole train.
Holy crap, that's mint. Where did you hear that?
He fucking quoted it.
Okay.
I don't know when. He said it. Basically, he's like, why he only dates white girls.
I saw something on BuzzFeed News about like John Mayer being upset over like something involving Taylor Swift, but he was in a similar situation where he was considerably older than Taylor Swift, not to mention she was like 18 or 19 when they dated again for probably 15 minutes. Long enough for her to get attached and then compose a song.
Hey, you know what? Long enough to make an album. She's made billions. Okay.
Oh, she's untouchable. You get to the point now where if you're part of Taylor Swift's clique, then you're set for life.
1,000%.
Jimmy Eat World. I mean, I love Jimmy Eat World. They're one of my favorite bands ever. When I was on the West Coast, part of the reason out there was just to see them, live. So not only did they, I don't know if they did it as a joke or what, but they did a cover of "We're Never Getting Back Together." That's actually really good. It literally is like, what if Jimmy Eat World covered this song? They played it on Conan. And then one of the many times I've seen them live, they played it. But because Taylor Swift did, I think it was it might have been like an app, or not at the time, it couldn't have been Apple. She was doing an ad. I don't remember what it was for, but she was on a treadmill and she's listening to The Middle. And then she like falls off the treadmill and eats shit. But because The Middle was playing, everyone is like, who is this band? Who's this song? Taylor likes it, so they got to be great. You know, it's like Oprah's book club, you know? And that got Jimmy Eat World in their song from 2001 to shoot up the charts again. And then when Taylor was performing live somewhere, brought the entire band out to play We're Never Getting Back Together. So like they're part of that circle. You know, they had a renowned like a resurgence in popularity thanks to her. If you're in her circle, you're set. So she's on SNL. She's on SNL over the weekend. She performs all too well. Longest performance in SNL history
ever, huh?
Yep, because the song, the re-recorded song is 10 minutes long,
and she fucking hit it.
Yep, and there's a short film that came out it's got Sadie Sink in it from Stranger Things that accompanies the song. She not only knocked it out of the park, but you got to see they're doing. You remember the SNL short films, the digital shorts? Like like
Lonely Island digital shorts.
Yeah, so they're doing a new one now, and I'm blanking on what it's called. I've only seen just a couple of them, but you got to check this out. Called Three Sad Virgins.
I've seen that floating around the interwebs recently, but I haven't had time to click into it. So
it is. You know what? Maybe I'll just pull it up now and we'll get the audio. But she should just release this as a song. It's one of those. Please Don't Destroy. That's what it's called. A Please Don't Destroy video. It's Pete Davidson and these like three guys that are now like, they're content creators that are on SNL, and they're putting together a music video that's just shitting all over these guys' life and pointing out that they are sad virgins that are never going to get laid. And then in comes Taylor Swift to just completely ruin everyone's day. I'll tell you right now, I can't post this on YouTube because if I do, we'll get a copyright strike.
Yeah, well.
So I can't post this video to YouTube, I should say. So anyway, here we go.
After we do the bridge. Wait, what bridge?
Hey, Pete.
Oh, hey, Taylor.
Ron is like a sad Ron Weasley. He looks like a big bird lost all his feathers. And Martin has the charm and the sex appeal of a scarecrow.
That's not true.
John has a big ass bowling ball head. How does he stay upright with that big fat melon? And none of them have the guts to take their shirts off in front of a girl.
Yeah, that's accurate. True.
Cause the three sad virgins what? 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 And they're gonna die alone.
She could clearly extend that version out a little bit to like a 2.5 minute feature song and release it, and she'd get 250 million hits.
Fuck yeah, dude.
In the first day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like an unstoppable force right now. Any
unstoppable force meets an immovable object. You've got Taylor Swift.
Anything she does now is just going to be, it's gold, even if it's shit. She could shit gold.
She could shit, and it is gold.
Yeah.
Without it being gold, it turns gold.
So, talking about this because in a move I will call shocking, where I actually support them, iHeartRadio, which is a cancer upon the radio industry, if I do say so myself.
Generally speaking, correct, yes.
Siding with Taylor Swift and only playing her re-recorded songs. They've taken out the original versions of their music libraries.
Now, is it one of those things where she's kind of like done like almost like a Godfather thing where she's, hey, if you don't play these versions of songs to me, I'm never going to fucking talk to you again. Like, is it one of those things where she's like, hey, look, if you want me to play an iHeartRadio concert, then you better fucking play my fucking Taylor's version songs.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, that is, it's got to be that.
Now, the question is it explicit or is it subtle? That's the question. Is she like, look, I'd hate to have to come back here and rearrange more than your furniture. You know, like, hey, I don't want to have to do this. You're making me do this.
You think I like hitting you? Now
doing this because I love you.
because I burnt the roast. So I'm sorry. I can't believe I said that. Anyway, yes, I can. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't give a shit at all. It's her people that are just going and speaking on her behalf and saying that.
Well, because as Taylor, she doesn't have to say anything. She just does she's a godfather at this point. She gives the nod. They know.
Yeah.
They know.
So there's that. And then also, if there's any like royalties, if there's any sort of thing like that, I'm pretty sure if they play like the original version of All Too Well, for example, that goes straight to Scooter Braun.
Scooter.
Doesn't go to her. So unless now it would really shock me if iHeartMedia was willingly like, hey, we stand with Taylor and fuck Scooter Braun, and we want to make sure that she gets her cut. I would only imagine that they were told, hey, you need to play these versions. But regardless, those are the ones.
Yeah, because Scooter Braun still owns a lot of masters of other things that he's like, do not fuck me over on these.
Yep. So according to Tim Poleman, what an unfortunate last name. Going back to
Could be worse. Dick my butts.
The chief programming officer for iHeartMedia.
Dick my butts.
He says, whenever Taylor re-records a new track, we will immediately replace the old versions. Our stations will always deliver songs that artists are eager to share and what fans want to hear. Listeners have made it known that they cannot wait to hear Taylor's version of each track. That's going to be trademarked, by the way, Taylor's version.
Yes, everything's now is Taylor's version.
We are thrilled to provide a platform to share those with them, as well as stories behind the song from Taylor herself. So, there you go. That is an interesting feat. I wonder if this is something that more artists are going to try to do now that Taylor Swift's doing it, because it sounds like it's a big undertaking to have to go through.
It's not just going into a studio and just going, all right, I'm going to lay down some new guitars. It's like this is mixing and mastering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, at the time, he was searching for aliens and actually successfully proving to us that UFOs and aerial phenomena exist. I will give him his credit on that. But Tom DeLonge from the band Blink-182.
Where are you?
Tom DeLonge had intended to take the first Angels and Airwaves album and on its 10-year anniversary in 2016, release an acoustic version of it where he would re-record pretty much the whole album, but acoustic. We got an EP that has the first 4 tracks because that's A, all he had time for, and B, the realization of, I don't want to do this. Like he started, and and Tom's like also someone who tells everyone what he wants to do and sets expectations and then never follows through on them. And so we at least got something out of it, but like it would have been better for it to be sort of like a, hey, surprise, I re-recorded a couple of tracks from this album. Not, I'm going to re-record this whole album. Never mind. Noel Gallagher was going to do the same thing with Oasis's 1997 album called Be Here Now, which was their follow-up to What's the Story, Morning Glory. So that had a very, very, very large degree of expectation behind it.
Very?
If you read the sort of like the background behind the recording of that album and then the events leading up to its release, it was pretty ridiculous because everyone was expecting it to be, as big as their last 2 albums, and then it was just a loud cocaine-induced mess.
Sounds about right.
To the point where Noel Gallagher said, hey, for the 20-year anniversary, I want to not re-record the whole album, but redo, not just remaster it, go through and reassemble the tracks. And he did the first track, which is like 8 minutes long. He did the first track and said, fuck this. He straight up said, "This album sucks. I'm not doing this. We'll release the first track and that's it." So if you look at like the anniversary version of Be Here Now, there's a version of that song that in parentheses it says Noel Gallagher or like NG Rethink. It's like his revision of it. And
at least he's honest. He's like, look, man, this one sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Initially, he's like, hey, we were all coked out when we recorded this. It was garbage when it came out. I want to give it like a second chance and make it sound better. And then he was just like, I can't listen to this. It's terrible. It's just, I'm polishing a turd here. So I think that's the right move. But you're right. These are not easy undertakings. And there's just a lot more to it than just sitting down and just like, treating it like it's a concert, right? Especially since she's like with Taylor Swift. She's probably only performed a handful of songs from each of these albums in concert. She has to go back to all these months that she'll probably never play live. And
there's at least 6, 8 songs on each of those albums that she'll never play live again.
Yeah. It always astounds me when bands go out and they play like full albums. Because they're like, the fans are going to be like, hey, this is great. I've always wanted to hear a song live. And the bands are probably like, when we recorded this, we had no intention of ever playing it live. And then here we are. So there it is. That's Taylor Swift. That's where we are right now. Scooter Braun's a piece of shit. And 3 Sad Virgins Song of the Year.
Clearly. There's only a couple months left anyway, so it's almost guaranteed.
Yep. Okay, cool. We will come back and we will wrap up this edition of Hardly Focused. Stick around. New edition. Okay. I don't have New Edition in here. But what I do have is Bill Bev DeVoe.
Did you say Bill Bev DeVoe?
Bill Bev DeVoe.
Bev DeVoe. Now you know.
Why do I have 4 Bill Bev DeVoe sound drops from the same song?
Why do you keep calling it Bill Bev DeVoe?
Never trust a big button to smile.
Is that not what he says? It's Bell Biv DeVoe. It's Michael Bivins.
Yeah, Bell Biv DeVoe, not Bill Bev DeVoe.
What? Oh, fuck you, dude. Come on.
Never trust a big button to smile.
God damn, now I'm self-conscious. I'm going to go back and listen to that.
What you need to do is actually hit yourself in the side of the head with a stanchion.
Stanchion?
Hey, there you go.
Oh, see, I was being a dick. I was trying to mispronounce it. To quote you, I can't even pronounce it wrong correctly. Part of the song I don't have parsed out here is, and they're like talking about the girl, the subject of the song, and they're like, how do you know? Me and the crew used to do her. Okay.
Classic.
Okay. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Michael Bivins, the DJ of Contemporary Soul Radio. I've been playing a lot of that lately. We'll talk about that coming up. Stick around. We'll be back.
To be a fly on the wall for this conversation.
Bob, you're in the room. You are listening to Hardly Focused.
This is the end.
Hardly Focused.
The end.
I fucking hate my life and everything about it because I can't pronounce things correctly. I went back and listened to it. And I cannot pronounce Bell Biv DeVoe correctly. This is I come in with all this confidence. I thought like air had been cleared during the last episode when we were talking about names, where I made it clear like, hey, it's not my fault that people like Brett Favre pronounce it wrong. And then I go and I try to say the word stanchion. And then I try to say Bell Biv DeVoe. Like, what's next?
Bill Bev?
I once I was working this retail job that I hated, and I convinced a customer that I had dyslexia.
you may have convinced them very easily because you may actually have it.
It's like that time we found out during the show that I'm lactose intolerant.
Hey, I keep drinking this stuff because I don't like the other stuff. Oh, it means because you're lactose intolerant? Oh, yeah. That's why my stomach hurts when I drink milk.
You know what I should start buying is the lactate pills. I know someone who takes those. They pop a pill anytime they're going to have something like ice cream or something that has dairy in it so they don't spend the rest of the evening shitting their brains out.
I mean, that's only if you're not a masochist, but whatever. To each his own.
Or DoorDash driver.
Hey.
But it's like, did you ever see Little Miss Sunshine?
Actually, I have never seen Little Miss Sunshine, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, the kid finds out by complete accident that he's colorblind and he cannot join the Air Force. That is his whole thing. And I think he's even he's taken an oath of silence that he's sticking to until he can join the Air Force. I think he's 17. And then he finds out by sheer accident that he's colorblind and then proceeds to just spend 5 minutes dropping every profanity that he can think of.
Yep.
So, let's see. Barstool trolled a bunch of people.
Sometimes it's just too easy.
Barstool, which I don't really follow Barstool. I know that El Presidente was reviewing frozen pizzas during lockdown because he couldn't actually go out to pizza places and review their pizzas. So he was just DiGiorno. Frozen pizza or delivery? Again, I know nothing about Barstool, but beyond, is it
Dave Portnoy?
Portnoy, yeah, okay.
Which every single time I hear that name, I think of Jeff Portnoy, who is a character played by Jack Black in Tropic Thunder.
You know what I think of is Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater.
Oh, all right. Apparently there's a lot of port noise.
Yeah. Dream Theater with I love their greatest hits album. It's called something like, thank you, Cooper. Cooper, there's beer on my lips. Really, dude? The greatest hits album is called Greatest Hit and 21 other pretty good songs. Yeah.
Here's the one song you know.
Yep. Anyway, Barstool trolling people. They post on Twitter the other day, top female singers of all time. And they start at number 1. Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, JoJo, Lady Gaga, Aretha Franklin, Beyonce, Ashley Simpson, Tina Turner, Adele, and Addison Rae.
Now here's the one part. I don't even know who the fuck Addison Rae is.
I didn't know who Addison Rae was until she was on the Tonight Show with Chuckles Magoo.
Okay.
Slapping his desk, laughing at everything.
Okay.
And they did a segment called Evolution of Hip Hop Dancing. And it was based off something that a bunch of TikTok videos, a bunch of content creators did on TikTok. And they would the Roots would play a clip of the song and Addison Rae would do the dance that the TikTok
I saw that. Yeah.
And it was all this controversy because I guess Addison Rae is a total bitch and a Trump supporter to begin with.
I didn't even know that part, but okay.
And also they didn't give credit at all to any of the TikTok videos and the people within. So a week later, Jimmy Fallon had all of the TikTok people on the show.
As a mea culpa.
Yeah, apologized and then make sure they got, their recognition. But it did not help Addison Rae's credibility. And she also starred very recently, and my hands are full at the moment. If you could look it up, she was in a remake or a sequel to a film, like a dancing film from the I want to say maybe, I don't think it came out in the 80s. It's not like a Dirty Dancing sort of thing. But she starred in it and it was just it was terrible, as it should be.
She's All That?
Yes, it's a reimagining of She's All That.
Yeah.
They did, I think, for I I think they did like a role switch. So her character was the male character in the original. So
because that worked out so well, didn't it?
Sure. So yeah, a lot of people upset over this top 10 list. I think the thing that gives it away is that Addison Rae is on here, and even
no. Ashley Simpson is on there. That's what gives it away.
What, you mean you don't like Old Man River? Do Neil Hoedown? God damn. I saw that live, dude. I remember watching that and being like, what the fuck just happened? I have this tendency to like look away at the worst possible moment. I looked away when Janet Jackson's tit was exposed. I looked away when Ashley Simpson, the wrong vocal track started playing. I looked away when Paul McCartney drove by us before his show at Fenway, when he drove by us on Causeway and waved to us, and everyone was like, Paul McCartney, actually Paul McCartney? And I'm like, who? What? Huh? Belle Biv DeVoe? What?
Oh, what? Belle Biv DeVoe?
Anyway. You know who else? You know, Belle Biv DeVoe was one of the offshoots of New Edition. You know who else was in Johnny? As I fucking say it and give it away. You know who else was in New Edition?
No, who?
Johnny Gill. God damn it.
I don't suck, but when I do, I really suck.
Why do I try to do anything?
I don't know, man. I mean, you're good at failing, I'll tell you that.
Failure is a father and an inventor. Anyway, at Barstool Chief goes on Twitter and he posts, the amount of morons on the internet who didn't realize this was a joke makes me sad for America, referencing their top 10 list. But it didn't stop a lot of people from posting very angry tweets about it. At Chanel DWT, why is Addison Rae on the same list as Whitney Houston, Beyonce, and Aretha Franklin? Y'all are liars.
Like, I like it's when they like name a more iconic duo and it shows like Milli Vanilli or some shit like that, and people are like, oh my god, I can't believe you'd think that. Like, guys.
Aren't they both dead? I know one of them's dead.
I think Millie's dead.
Okay.
Girl, you know it's girl, you know it's girl, you know it's.
Girl, you know it's suicide.
At Ryan D. Simone says the fact that Addison Rae and Ashley Simpson got any scintilla. Wow.
Scintilla.
God damn it. Scintilla of a mention here in lieu of Amy Lee, Dolores O'Riordan, Diana Ross, Gladys Knight, Ella Fitzgerald, Etta James, and like just goes to show how shallow Barstool's brains are. This one is bad. I will say Dolores O'Riordan. Too soon, man. Lost her too soon.
Very much so.
I can't read this next one because it's got a slur in it.
I wonder which one it was.
Get Addison Rae and Ashley Simpson the hell off of where? Okay, that's this dude fucking up at Joshua 4570. Get the hell off of where? And where's Patti LaBelle and Celine Dion?
Their hearts will go on.
Is it Patti LaBelle? Who was it that Ego Nwodum? She's great on Twitter.
Yes. It's not Diane.
Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick. Yes, that was like, and it starts with a D. What is the?
Yes. Yeah. She did her Dionne Warwick talk show sketch, and Dionne Warwick actually showed up.
Yeah.
That was fucking brilliant. Yeah, Dionne Warwick, brilliant on Twitter. I love the elderly celebrities that go on Twitter and
own it.
Yeah, that recognize it, like William Shatner, that know how to use it and they have a field day with it. It's the same thing with those who go on Reddit.
Yes, and understand what Reddit actually is. Yes.
I know Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, he's all over Reddit. I used to love it when Vern Troyer would post on Reddit because it could just be like Vern Troyer, like, here I am standing next to a 4-year-old who's taller. And it would shoot up to like the top post for like 24 hours.
Hey, you know what? Just enough to get some traction, right?
Yeah, Vern Troyer was a treasure, man. We lost him too soon as well.
Well, I mean, not for nothing. Anybody that's that short with dwarfism like that, they never live as long as you'd like them to.
No.
Their bodies are just not designed that way.
Which means we need to wrap in cellophane Warwick Davis.
Oh my God. How old? Yeah, Warwick Davis is what? How old?
He's got to be like in his 50s now. Because Vern Troyer, I think, was like around the same age. I think he just turned 50. Yeah, Warwick Davis, February 3rd, 1970.
Yep.
How old was Vern Troyer?
I think the thing is, everybody forgets that he was actually a child as an Ewok. He wasn't just short as an Ewok.
Is it one of those things where, like, now this could be me just being completely ignorant?
Let's go with that. You're probably completely ignorant, but go ahead.
No surprise. Do they know at the time? Like, let's look at like Emmanuel Lewis, for example, and then what the fuck is his name? What you talking about, Wills? What the hell's that guy's name?
No, I'm gonna make you figure that one out.
I got a fucking robocall recently, and
Gary Coleman.
Gary Coleman, thank you. I got a it was a spam call, and I just responded by yelling the Different Strokes theme song at him. I can remember the Different Strokes theme song, but I can't remember Gary Coleman's name. Anyway, do they know at that age that they have dwarfism, or that they have a condition that is going to render them to be very short, very stunted for the rest of their life?
I think generally by like 4 or 5, at least nowadays, by they can tell, like, with they almost do it in infancy. Back in the day, it was like 3 or 4. They'd be like, yeah, he's not growing regular.
Okay. It's not just
they'd figure it out.
It's not just a thing where they're like, they use him as a.
Hey, you're 17. Why are you still 3 feet tall? Yeah, it's not anymore.
Use him as a child actor.
Excuse me, sir. Can I have some more height? You want more height?
30 years later, hey, surprise! Guess what? I'm still 4'2".
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anywho. Yeah. So Barstool coming out admitting that their top 10 list complete bullshit. But not before
I'm shocked. I'm so shocked.
Not before the entirety of the internet was riled up and pissed off. So
some people just don't get it.
Yep. Also, there's a dog that owns a house that was once owned by Madonna, and the dog inherited it.
Not surprised.
The dog actually comes from a line of dogs.
No shit.
That inherited the house. This is a well-timed pause, is what that was.
Dog comes from a line of dogs. That's a Norm Macdonald pause right there, if I ever saw one.
That's the opposite of my favorite news bloopers, when they don't pause.
Good morning. I've just killed my boys.
This is BBC World News. I'm Jonathan Charles, kept hidden for almost 2 decades and forced to bear children.
One more. Hold on, one more.
Good evening, I'm Ken Bastida. Dana is off tonight. He was murdered and then set on fire while celebrating his birthday.
That one might be the best one.
See, that's why I pause. This is why I do that.
You just got to know tactically which pause you should make. So
I feel like when I was younger, I used to stutter and stammer a lot. So I throw the pauses in so I don't start tripping myself up and like,
hasn't stopped you before.
So, and by the way, Millionaire Pooch selling Miami Villa once owned by Madonna. It's legit because the Associated Press reported on it.
Ooh, if AP reports on it, they're like the least biased of any reporting agency. Reuters and AP.
Did you say Reuters?
Reuters. I know. I wanted to get you.
It's not just me. Reuters. Even I knew that. Anyway, yeah, during the election, AP was the only source I trusted beyond whatever that website was that like where they were like, yeah, Trump isn't going to win 2020.
Oh, the OANN, that one.
I don't remember. I'm blanking on this website now, but it was like I would check it quite regularly leading up to the election just to make sure. I'm like, hey, you guys have been pushing for months that is not going to happen.
Please don't let me down.
Right. But yeah, the AP. If I see it come from the AP, at least I know it's legit, because typically the AP is usually the ones to break the usually break the big news like that. So
generally speaking, and they've got like it's AP worldwide too.
Right. All right. We're just kind of firing blanks now, which is pretty much all I can do these days. There's a Facebook page I follow.
Wait, were you doing that in front of the TSA?
Then I hit him with a stanchion. There's a Facebook page I follow called Screenshots With or Without Context. And they just posted a screen cap of Taylor Swift performing on SNL this past weekend, and a comment that says 10 minutes length of a song is just crazy. Only Taylor can do that. Name a song off the top of your head that's 10 minutes long.
Well, I mean, obviously besides In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, but I believe, is there an extended cut of Freebird? You've got is Wish You Were Here technically? No, that's not Pink Floyd long enough.
And you can round up.
Metallica, I was gonna say Metallica. They've got 9 minutes. I believe is And Justice for All 9 minutes long.
I can find out.
Let me see what else. I mean, there's at least 8 Metallica songs that are 8 minutes or longer. I know that.
Well, Metallica, like if it's less than 8 minutes, then it's not a Metallica song.
Before Load, if it was less than 6 minutes long, it was a quick song.
Sure.
Led Zeppelin, you've got like,
Kashmir is
like 9-10 minutes long. The symphonic version of Kashmir. Oh my God.
Yeah. I was gonna go emo child and something corporate with
or
Constantine.
Live versions of Fish songs.
Those and Dave Matthews Band songs don't count. If you are a jam band, then no, it's not happening.
Grateful Dead went live in concert. That was one song for 4 years, man.
Does anyone want to buy my shirt? Freebird, yes, because I hold the dubious honor of blowing up 93.7 WMKK in Boston because someone who shall not be named, Demick O'Brien, didn't check Audio Vault at all that night and didn't notice that the last song that Mike FM was to play on September 11th, 2011, before they flipped formats to WEEI, the last song was going to be Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode, which RV specifically picked. And had Demick checked the automation to make sure that everything was going to time out correctly, he would have noticed that Enjoy the Silence was scheduled to end at 5:45 a.m., leaving 15 minutes until the 6 a.m. format flip.
Or was that intentional?
So Lou, the engineer, comes in. He's like, "You got to do something. You got to do something. You got to fill that time. I can't see you with dead air. We got to flip it to 6 a.m. I can't flip it any earlier." So I'm in a panic as Enjoy the Silence is playing. We don't have any fucking music. So I pick a song that we dropped earlier in the night. Bad Medicine by Bon Jovi. Okay, cool. That takes us up to 5:51. What can get us right to 6 a.m.? 9-minute version of Freebird, baby.
There you go.
And it made the radio trades because the radio trades always report on big market format changes, and they talked about how it was uninspired that 93.7 Mike FM went out with Leonard Skinner's Freebird, segueing into sports talk radio, and I just sat back. I'm like, hey, something I did made the news, even if they're pissed about it.
Hey, at least they're talking about it.
Enjoy the Silence would have been good because RV fucking loved that station. That was his baby. He, I begrudgingly agreed to flip it to EEI to compete with the Sports Hub. So
which is working out so well.
Did you see what Greg Hill did?
I saw people posting about it. I have yet to try to listen to it.
It's an awkward fucking video. It's him. He went up to the WAF, the old WAF studio. And Danielle texts me and she goes, "There's no way in hell Greg has set foot in that room since February of 2020." Or no, I'm sorry. There's no way that Greg has set foot on that floor of the building since February 2020. And yeah, it's pretty much him and Odyssey Boston's attempt at trying to get EEI's morning share up from
the shit bottom that it is right now.
Yeah. Here's Greg.
It's Greg Hill, and this is where it all used to happen. This is the now deserted WAAF studio. Sometimes I just come up here and get a little misty-eyed when I reminisce about the old days. But as long as you're still following WAAF, I'm hoping that you might give us a follow at WEEI. Just follow The Greg Hill Show, WEEI. And thanks for remembering the great WAAF in the old days. It's Greg Hill, and this is where...
man, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was entirely terrible.
Yeah. It's like the first thing that the WAAF accounts have posted on their own in months. They've just been retweeting things because Odyssey is just like, it's one radio station that is just like broadcast like all over the country. The alternative rock station in New York is just like repeated in every other market. So, and the big gig, that was the big concert that they were going to do, that they were still touting even after the station foot formats. So they announced the lineup the other day.
Yep.
Because it's going to happen in 2022. Nowhere does it mention WAAF. Like they dumped the AAF branding from it.
I think they should still, there just be some guerrilla AAFing going on there.
Yeah. At least that was kind of a way to keep the brand alive after being gone for so long.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, wow. This segment's only supposed to be like 10 minutes long, and here we are.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Cool. Well, Mike, thank you for pointing out all of my mistakes.
I am here to point out all of your flaws consistently. You should be shamed of being human.
That's crazy.
And we will do this again the next time we do it. All right. We will talk at you next time. See you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Privatization may not have happened.